Hi. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how to install the FlowFuse dashboard for Node-RED on a low-cost Android TV box. I bought this device with Armbian server already installed, making it a very affordable platform for running Node-RED. It includes an SD card slot, USB ports, and an Ethernet port, making it ideal for IoT and home automation projects. Besides the TV box, you'll need an Ethernet cable to connect it to your router, a 12-volt power adapter, and a USB keyboard for the initial configuration. Once everything is connected, we can power up the device and start the installation process. Before powering it on, connect the TV box to a monitor or TV using an HDMI cable so you can see the boot process. Then turn on the device and wait until Armbian finishes booting and the login prompt appears on the screen. By default, the username is root and the password is 1234. Enter these credentials to log into the system. After logging in, run the following command to display the IP address assigned by your router. Make a note of this address, because we'll use it in the next step to connect to the TV box remotely using SSH from our computer. Since the STB is connected through Ethernet and my laptop is connected over Wi-Fi, both devices need to be on the same network. If your router has a LAN-to-LAN isolation option, make sure it's disabled before moving on. Next, let's connect to the STB via SSH using the IP address we found earlier. I'll be using Visual Studio Code, but you can use POOTTY or any other SSH client you prefer. After entering the username and password, we'll have full access to the STB from our computer, making it much easier to configure and install software without needing a keyboard or monitor connected to the device. Before installing anything, I'll first set the system time zone to match my local time. This is a good practice and helps ensure that logs and scheduled tasks use the correct time. Before installing any software, it's always a good idea to update the system first. This ensures that we're using the latest package information from the repositories and helps avoid compatibility issues during the installation process. Next, run the upgrade command to install the latest versions of all currently installed packages. Depending on your internet connection and the number of available updates, this step may take several minutes to complete. Once the update and upgrade process is finished, the system will be fully up to date and ready for the Node-RED installation. Now it's time to install Node.js, which is the JavaScript runtime required to run Node-RED. Without Node.js, Node-RED simply won't be able to run on the system. For the latest versions of Node-RED, it's recommended to use Node.js version 20 or later. In this tutorial, I'll be using Node.js 22, which is the current long-term support version and provides excellent performance, security updates, and long-term stability. The installation process adds the official Node.js package repository to the system and then installs Node.js along with its package manager, npm. Using the official repository ensures that you're installing a supported and up-to-date version instead of an outdated package that may be available in the default Linux repositories. Once the installation is complete, we'll have everything we need to install FlowFuse Node-RED in the next step. Once the installation is complete, verify that Node.js and npm were installed successfully by checking their version numbers. This confirms that the environment is ready. Next, create a flowforge directory under opt. We'll use this directory to store the FlowFuse installation files and keep everything organized. Next, download the latest FlowFuse installer package from the official GitHub releases page and extract the zip file on your computer. Once the extraction is complete, open WinSCP and connect to the STB using the same SSH credentials we used earlier. Then, copy all of the extracted FlowFuse installation files into the FlowForge directory we created under /opt. After the file transfer is complete, we're ready to begin the FlowFuse installation. Now, let's switch back to Visual Studio Code and begin the FlowFuse installation. First, navigate to the FlowFuse installation directory. Then, make the installation script executable and run it. The installer will prepare the installation environment and verify that everything is ready before continuing. Depending on your hardware and internet connection, this step may take a few minutes to complete, so be patient and avoid interrupting the process while it's running. Once it's finished, we'll continue with the remaining setup steps required before FlowFuse is fully operational. During the installation, you'll be asked which user should run the FlowFuse service. Make sure you don't select the current user, which is root. Instead, choose the dedicated FlowFuse user. This is the recommended and more secure configuration for running FlowFuse. Once the installation is complete, start the FlowFuse service and then verify that it's running correctly by checking its service status. If everything is configured properly, you should see that the service is active and running, which means you're ready to continue with the next step. The next step is to install PostgreSQL, which will be used as the database for our FlowFuse installation. FlowFuse stores important information such as user accounts, projects, configuration data, and other application settings in this database. We'll also install the postgresql-contrib package, which includes additional extensions and utilities that are commonly used with PostgreSQL. Depending on your internet connection, the installation may take a few minutes to complete. Once it's finished, we'll have a fully functional PostgreSQL database server ready to be configured for FlowFuse in the next step. Next, we need to update a few PostgreSQL configuration files to allow FlowFuse to communicate with the database correctly. In the postgresql.conf file, make sure PostgreSQL is listening on all network interfaces by setting listen addresses to an asterisk, and disable SSL since we'll be using a local connection in this setup. Then, edit the pg_ba.conf file to configure the authentication rules. Update the local and host access settings to use MD5 password authentication for both IPv4 and IPv6 connections. This allows FlowFuse to authenticate with PostgreSQL using a username and password, which is required for the database connection to work properly. After saving the configuration changes, restart the PostgreSQL service so the new settings take effect. Next, switch to the PostgreSQL command line interface using the Postgres administrator account. First, assign a password to the Postgres user, as FlowFuse will use these credentials to connect to the database. Then, create a new database named flowforge. After that, list all available databases to verify that the flowforge database has been created successfully. Finally, restart the PostgreSQL service one more time to make sure everything is ready. Next, open WinSCP again and edit the FlowFuse configuration file named flowforge.yml. This file contains the main application settings, including the network configuration and database connection. Configure the application to listen on port 3000 in all network interfaces. Then, update the domain name and base URL to match your own domain. If you're using a different domain, simply replace these values with your own. Finally, configure the database section to use PostgreSQL, and enter the database name, username, and password that we created in the previous step. Once you've finished editing the file, save the changes and we're ready to start FlowFuse using the new database configuration. That's it. We can now access FlowFuse from a web browser and complete the initial setup. Simply open your domain or server address, create your administrator account, and follow the on-screen instructions to finish the installation. Once the setup is complete, you'll have a fully functional FlowFuse instance running on your STB, ready to manage your Node-RED projects, deploy flows, and build powerful IoT and automation applications. In the next video, I'll show you how to make your STB accessible from anywhere on the internet, allowing it to work as a low-cost alternative to a VPS. This means you'll be able to access your FlowFuse instance remotely without renting a cloud server, making it an excellent solution for personal projects, IoT deployments, and home labs. So don't miss it. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the creation of more tutorials like this. If you have any questions or run into any issues during the installation, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll do my best to help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding!